Hey guys, what's up? It's your boy Justin here, alongside with Brendan as your cameraman, bringing
Hello.
you the spiciest of camera angles
As I wave my finger through the
that
camera.
only an iPhone can provide. And today, as you can see by my map, we are doing a spicy deck profile. And what other deck is more spicier than my Kozmo deck that I haven't done a video for? Actually, I've done 3 videos for, but I didn't upload any of them.
It's a piece
So
of
we're
shit.
re-recording this again. You're only mad because it beats you. Don't worry, I feel the same way about everything that Brian builds.
If you guys are building a deck and need a test, you can't do that against this.
Yes, you can.
No, you can't.
Yes, you can. Okay, let's get right into the deck. The mat goes along with it, but I won't be staying for long because I'm having Sapphire design my custom mat, the Team Scoop for Food mat. It's going to be pretty lit, but we'll get right into the deck profile. So, starting off with Kozmo Monsters, you have 2 Kozmo Tin Can. Once per turn, you pay 500 life points. You can pick 3 ships or cards in your deck, so you can pick 3 random cards. Usually I pick maybe 1 pilot and like 2 of these. You roll a dice randomly, so like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 of them go to grave. The 1 goes into your hand, so it can be used later on. After that, you end your turn, and you can banish on either player's turn this card to special summon a level 2 or higher from your hand. Next, we have 3 Kozmo Strawman. Strawman's one of my favorite cards in this deck in terms of the small leveled monsters. You pay 500 life points. You get to target 1 monster. It's a Kozmo monster in your banish pile, and you get to bring it back till the end phase of your turn. Usually I combo this with one of my ships. The effects are negated, but it still gets affecting grave when it gets destroyed. So when it gets destroyed, I'll be able to banish it and special summon another monster. It can also be banished on either player's turn to bring out a level 3 or higher monster. That is a Kozmo monster. Next, I run 2 Kozmo Farm Girl. Kozmo Farm Girl is one of my favorite cards in the entire deck. She is my level 3. And once per turn, if I do battle damage, I am paid 500, target 1 of my Kozmo monsters, special summon it, and usually I OTK with this, so like I'll bring out a Wicked Witch from hand, I'll attack a Wicked Witch, I'll banish, and I'll bring out one of my level 8s or level 9s that has 3000 attack, and I'll just keep doing damage to my opponent and work my way up the levels with the banishing effects during the battle phase, because they work. Also, if she doesn't use her effect, once per either player's turn, she can be banished to bring out a level 4 or higher special summoned Kozmo monster. For level 4s, I run 2 Kozmo Wicked Witch. She's my stall card in this deck. You pay 1,000 life points during either player's turn when this card would be destroyed by card effect or battle. She keeps on the field until the end of that turn. She can't be targeted by card effects to be destroyed. If she can't be destroyed by battle, you'll still take battle damage, but usually I'll put her in defense if I'm going to special summon her, if I'm struggling. Also, during either player's turn, she can be banished to bring out a level 5 or higher. My final one of my pilots is my Kozmo Dark Lady. I don't really go into her that much. She's my level 5. Once per turn, you pay 1,000 life points to negate the effect of a monster and destroy it. So let's say Brendan would bring out his Uriah, where, you know, it activates effect to pop one of my set cards. I could pay 1,000 life points and Uriah would be gone. It would go poof, and it's gone. And then during the player's turn, I can banish and bring out a level 6 or higher monster that's from my hand. So those are all of the low-level psychic type pilots, and now we get into the ships. We have 3 Kozmo Slip Rider. These are my MSTs of the deck. When they are normal or special summoned, I can pop 1 card on the field that's a spell or trap card. Whether it's face up or set, I can do it. I usually use this card a lot against Uriah to pop his annoying trap monsters that can't be destroyed by battle, or that, you know, are going to be problematic for me to get over. So this card comes really in handy against that deck. Also, when it's destroyed, I can banish it to bring out a level 4 or lower monster from my deck. So anything from a Wicked Witch to a Tin Can. Next we run 1 Kozmo Landwalker. It's not my favorite card. I don't love it. I don't really like it. I kind of just tolerate it being in there. Once per turn, if my Kozmo monster would be destroyed by a battle or card effect, I can send this to the graveyard instead to save it. So let's say someone Regekis me. I can send Landwalker instead, and my Dark Destroyer stays on field. It's pretty incredible. It's the one thing that can get around a Regeki. So I keep it in there just for the lulz and the trolls. Then if he gets destroyed, I get a banish and bring out a level 5 or higher. So anything from a Subrighter or a Dark Lady to a Tin Can. Next is 2 Kozmo Forerunners. These are one of my favorite ships in my entire deck. During each standby phase, I gain 1,000 life points. I lose all life points because of the pilot's effects. So gaining life points really helps me. They also can't be targeted by card effects. So they can't be destroyed or targeted. Besides being attacked over. Or, by something that doesn't target. And it's 2,800. So it's really hard to get over. And if it gets destroyed, I can banish it to bring out a level 6 or lower Kozmo monster from my deck.
Quaking.
Next is my favorite ship in the entire deck, Kozmo Dark Destroyer. He's so good, he can only be ran at 1. He's my level 8 of the deck. When he's normal or special summoned, I can pop 1 monster on the field that my opponent controls. It's just an instant pop. Especially if my opponent's struggling and they only have 1 set monster, they only have 1 monster in the field, which usually happens a lot between me and Brendan.
He doesn't like my Uriahs.
No, I don't. And so I pop Uriah, and then I swing for 3,000, but usually it has trap monsters, so I try to clear those off board first, but sometimes I get an easy 3,000 in there. And then if it gets destroyed, I can banish it to bring out a level 7 or lower. Next are the 2 weird monsters that are Cosmos that have different effects when they get destroyed. First is Kozmo Dark Clipser. First off, it can't be targeted, much like my Dark Destroyer or my Forerunner, but I can send a Kozmo monster from my grave to the Banish Pile and negate a trap. Really good against Uriah. Really good.
Yeah.
It holds me off pretty well against you, considering I don't run enough back row pop-in cards. It sometimes works. He's like, that's debatable. Has 3,000 attack, and when it's destroyed, you can search for a level 8 or lower. Curse you, Brendan.
I didn't do it.
You can search for a level 8 or lower from your deck, and you can add it to your hand. So anything from a Dark Destroyer down, you can add. And then finally, I run 3 Kozmo Dark Planet.
He likes these more than he likes his Dark
Destroyer. These are the best card out of all of them. And a lot of people tell me not to run them, but I combo really well with them. I usually open up with 2 of them first turn, or I'm able to get them out pretty easy. And so what I'll do is, first off, they can't be targeted. They're at 4,000 attack, 4,000 defense. They can send a Kozmo monster from the grave to the Banish Pile to negate a spell card. So basically, it just negates your spells and traps, which is really cool. And then if it gets destroyed, it can search anything from a Dark Eclipse or down to add to hand from deck. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It is pretty cool.
I've seen cooler.
Nah.
I'm just kidding.
And then I run a few Tekken monsters. So I run 2 Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. They're good for when my opponent activates a stupid annoying effect. The effect still goes through, but I get to destroy their monster. So like that 5,000 XYZ that Brendan has in his Uriah deck that I don't want to deal with. Or his Uriah. It gets instantly destroyed. He really doesn't like playing this deck. It's not fun for him. I think you have nightmares about this deck, don't you?
It's stupid.
And next, it's also a tuner, so this is how I get off my synchro plays. And then next I run 2 Kaiju Raiden because it's 2,800, so all my boss monsters, like my 4,000, 3,000, 2,800s, can swing into it. It's easy just to get off against anyone when they play stupid cards that you want to get over because no
I
one.
think Kaijus can do anything.
Kaijus can do whatever. The only thing that I would add in this, if I wanted to do, I would take out some of my Kozmo monsters and run a Kaiju engine with 2 Kaiju Slumbers. But I haven't tried that kind of build yet, and Brian's playing Yosen Kaijus, which is a Trollsy deck that works really well with Kaiju. So I'm just running with the 2 Raidens. That's what I've been running with for the last few months. It seems to work. So those are all the monsters. Next we go into spells. We run 3 Cosmotown. Cosmotown is your main card in the game, and you have a terraforming, so you can get into 1 if you draw into it. Usually I draw it after I draw a Cosmotown, which is kind of dumb, but that's what happens. 3 effects. First effect is you can add any of your banished Cosmos back to your hand by paying 100 times the amount of stars that monster is. So anything up to 1,000 if you want to add a Dark Planet. Also, you can reveal however many Cosmo monsters that are in your hand, shuffle them back in a deck, and draw the same amount of cards. So if you have a really bad hand or you don't have any pilots, you can shuffle them back in a deck and hope that you get something better.
And draw the same pilots.
Yes, that's what I tend to do. And then also, if it gets destroyed, you can search for any Cosmo card in your deck and add it to your hand. Any of them. Usually I search for Cosmo Town, but it depends on when what I'm playing for what I go for. And then that terraforming just gives me 1. So there's those. I run 2 gold sarcophagus because it combos really well with the Cosmo Town. I just send one of my Cosmo monsters to the banish pile. I use its first effect to pay 100 times the level, and I add a 10. So if I don't draw in anything, God forbid I don't have any Cosmo monsters in hand, I can go for a 10 can and get an easy start to my plays. Next I run an E-Teleport, because, God forbid again, I can't draw into one of my pilots. I get a special summon one of them, or a Ghost Target Snow Rabbit to go into a Synchro play. And then for back row destruction, not back row, for monster destruction, I run a Dark Hole and a Regeki. Regeki's super expensive, so if you guys can't afford a Regeki, I recommend 2 Dark Hole. It does the same job. And in Cosmos, it really doesn't affect you if you blow up your own field because all your ships get their effects from being banished.
Is it just me, or does Dark Hole always look like an eye?
It does kind of look like an eye. And then we move into the traps. This is a new trap that I picked up. It's called Cosmojo. You target 1 Cosmo monster you control, you destroy it, and then you can banish 1 card your opponent controls, or that's in their graveyard. So this works well with like a Dart Destroyer or any of your ships. You can banish, or you can destroy them, banish them, special summon something, and then you banish like Brendan's Uriahs. I can banish your Uriah. How does that make you feel?
It really helps me with my Twilight Swarms.
Yeah, it does. It's a $10 trap. I understand why it's good. I'm only running out 1 because I'm just testing out right now. If it doesn't really work, I'll probably put BLS back in because I was running BLS for the longest time. Just for late game Trolls and Lulz, since I'm running kind of a light dark combo deck. Scrap Iron Scarecrow, just like Brendan and his Uriah deck profile. My Duelist League Scrap Iron Scarecrow is pink though. It's one of my favorite traps in the game, and I was struggling at tournament at keeping my opponent from attacking multiple times into my monsters. So it just is something I have. After tournament, I kind of got a little bit peed off that I went 2-2. So I said, screw it, I'm going to waste $30 and pick up 2 Solemn Strikes. And so I picked up 2 Solemn Strikes. I think they make the deck really good. They can negate a monster. Let's see what they do again. They can negate a specialman monster or a monster effect by paying $1,500. I don't really worry about spell and trap card effects because of my Dark Planets and my Dark Clips, or if I have Cosmos in grave, I can just banish them to negate those cards. But I don't have anything against monster effects or against special summon monsters that can get over my Cosmos, so these come in handy. And then Stormings, which are my favorite Mirror Force in the game. I side out. I'd side these out or put these out if you can't afford to get them, and I put regular Mirror Forces and they do the same thing. The only difference is Storming sends them back to hand, so it's a little bit different. It doesn't destroy them, so they can't get, graveyard effects or effects from being banished. So it just makes your opponent have to go through all his plays again to get him back out in the field. And those are my traps. And then on the extra deck, Honarch can attach a Trouble special summon monster to it, keep it around. It gives you a few turns of stall. It's just really good level 4. Cyber Dragon Nova. The only reason he's in here is for Cyber Dragon Infinity, because Infinity is really good. And he can equip a monster onto it. One of your opponent's monsters you can equip onto it as an attachment. And I forget what he does after that. He can equip it, and then he can target one face-up monster on the field, attach it as a material, and then during a player's turn, when the card or effect activating, detach one XYZ, negate it, and destroy it. He gets 200 attack for it. So it can destroy cards on the field and negate monsters, monster effects, spell and trap card effects. He's really good if you can get him off. Allied Justice Catastrophe. God forbid, you're struggling really hard and you have only like a straw man and a ghost ogre. Because God forbid, that's terrible. You go into this and all monsters that aren't dark are destroyed automatically. It doesn't matter how much attack they're at. So he could play a 5,000 freaking PLS with the Honest attached to it, and it still gets destroyed because Honest is a light. So he still gets destroyed. Or not Honest. PLS is a light.
I was gonna say, what does Honest have to do with anything? It goes to grave anyways.
I just really hate Honest.
Honestly, it doesn't care.
Black Rose Dragon is one of my favorite cards. I used it against Cubics, and it kind of helped me a little bit. Cubics are one of the hardest decks to play. Me and Brendan struggle really bad against Cubics.
Really?
Black Rose is really good. It blows up field. It helps me if I have ships on field because I can just special summon stuff after field destroyed and just attack for lots of damage. Ancient Fairy combo as well because she destroys this field spell. Then I get to search a extra card off Kozmo Town and add a Kozmo Town to hand off of Ancient Fairy's effect out a field spell. So it gives me a +2 play. Now, Big Eyes in Japanese, but I have its effect right here. Once per turn, you can detach one material from this card, target one monster your opponent controls, take control, but this card can't attack the turn it's activated. So basically, you can gain control of your opponent's Uriah.
I don't think you would get the attack from it, though.
No. I just tribute over it, just to be an asshole. Brendan's like, what the fuck?
If you couldn't tell, he really doesn't like Uriah.
Red Eyes is for stalling, but I think as long as he has attachments to him, every time your opponent activates a card effect, their opponent pays 500 life points. I don't really go into him, so I don't worry about him too much. Mecha Phantom Beast Draco Sack's really good. You get 2 tokens, and once per turn, you can pop one of those tokens and pop a card on the field. I use this against Uriah. I've used it against Cubics. I've used it against a couple decks, and it's made a decent dent in some decks. Some decks that doesn't do anything against anything. Stardust because it's Stardust. It's just good. Thought Roller because it gives me life points.
Uriah.
Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend. Once per turn, destroy as many special summon effect monsters on the field as possible with attack less than or equal to this card. Then inflict 500 damage to your opponent from each monster destroyed. This card won't affect Uriah, sadly, but it's still really good. Then I have...
I know how to get over that.
Trushula, Dragon of the Ice Barrier. It's my level 9. When this card is synchro summoned, you can banish up to 1 card from your opponent's hand, field, and graveyard. It's just good if you want to get cards out of your opponent's hand, field, and graveyard.
Uriah.
Leo, because Leo can't be destroyed besides the main phase 2, or by being attacked over, and it has 3,100 attack, so most like Blue Eyes, and people that have 3,000 boss monsters just cry.
Uriah.
And then finally Star Eater, because its summon can't be negated, and when it's synchro summoned, this card cannot be affected by other effects till the end of the damage step, so it can just straight up attack you for 3,200 without worrying about any traps being played.
And guess what?
What?
Uriah.
I don't worry about Uriah. And then, as terms of sleeves, we have my Dirt Magician Girl sleeves and the Jet Black sleeves that have the shine in them because I really like my cards looking all shiny.
I know the camera didn't really like them.
They didn't really like them.
They did not.
Fair. But that is my Kozmo deck. I hope that you guys really enjoyed this. I've been waiting to bring you guys this video. Brendan's going to get that uploaded for you guys either now or tomorrow at some point. And it'll be up on the channel hopefully by Wednesday or Thursday you guys are watching this. If not tonight, we'll see. But anyway, guys, we hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure if you did to hit that like button. Also hit that subscribe button. Feel free to leave a comment because we always respond to our comments. We love talking to you guys in the comment section. Thank you guys for all the support on our channel. We really appreciate it. And until next time, peace.